Howdy, on Welcome Lex Lives. I think it's time we play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright. Uh, I got my motorcycle stuck trying to get back out of here, so I had to tear open the barrier hole. And then the game crashed and took my motorcycle away from me, so I had to build a new one. So hopefully this one doesn't vanish on me like the last one. I tried to do another quest, but man, I cannot defeat those ferals very easily. And when you're doing the questing like that, as soon as you get snagged by one of those ferals, that's it. You're done. And I mean, not snagged by, but you get killed by them. That's it. Your game's over, right? So I'm just gonna go out and do some zombie clearing, I guess, to get this next couple of levels I need here. I need to get to intelligence 8, and so that I can unlock the next level of armor and the next. Well, I want to unlock the ability to do tier 3 mods so that I can make the spiked club. And so that's a little tricky to do if I don't have points. I think I've got 1 point saved up. I need 3. So I need to, I guess I should have picked a spot here. I guess we'll go south and see what's down this trail here. And I should probably stop and break down cars if I come across some major ones, since I did. Oh, it was terrible too. I was way out with all this stuff that I had looted, and so I was barely moving, and there wasn't a whole lot I could throw away because it was all parts to make my new motorcycle, and I'm like, oh man, I've got to walk so far. I'll bet it took me 40 minutes to walk back home because it stole my motorcycle. I appreciate that, that's for sure. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot going on at the moment. Uh, Come on. Ooh. Oh, that's me. I'm bleeding. We got a little bit of D&D happening. Been a slow week. Uh, we're really busy here with some stuff, and so a lot of my D&D has to do with people I am closely acquainted with, and since most of those people are caught up in the same stuff, uh, nobody's really been posting much. Um, but I did get a little bit of movement yesterday out of my sci-fi D&D that I'm running, and so it kind of made me laugh. So we got 4 players and me, and so I'm describing, uh, the king and queen. They lead you into this amphitheater. It's got a small lagoon at the front, and then past the lagoon is a stage that's actually surrounded by the lagoon, and there's a small bridge that, while not necessary, is more ceremonial, that leads to nice. Got another engine that leads to where the whole point of their quest is, and that is to bring nanites to the uh, nanites containing operating system to a nanite cloud that does not have one. Um, I guess is the easiest way to say what's going on. Basically, they had a computer with no operating system, and they were instructed to bring it a new operating system. Ooh, I just smashed right through that for some reason. And so I knew before they get there that they were going to get attacked. Before they got too far into it, and because of what's going on. And talked a little bit about this. I don't remember where, but I know I recently talked about how what they're at the. I don't know what the point yet of my campaign is. I only know that my introductory starter quest. I guess it's hard to know where you're going with a campaign. Like, you could have an overarching storyline. Like, not that we've played in a long time, but I do have a in-person game that I run when everybody's able, and for the most part, nobody's been able for a year, all at the same time, and almost 2 years, I guess, at this point. I should probably stop saying I'm running that game because it really isn't happening. Although the people involved keep saying, "Oh yeah, no, we're gonna, yeah, no, you're not. Who you kidding?" And so, but in that one, I mean, I don't know if he's gonna be the end game bad guy if we ever play again. But oh, I do know that it's about a guy who's been banished from his plane of existence, and is trying to get home by amassing as much. Well, he thinks there's an artifact that will. Oh, did she die? That will let him through back to his. He's been banished basically by the gods, and so he thinks he can get past the gods with some artifacts, and so they've met him a couple of times. He's betrayed them a couple of times. He has straight up commanded people to attack them once, So I kind of know where that one's going at the moment. And so you can do that. I mean, that's definitely a thing. Or like, I'm running a couple of pre-made campaigns from actual Wizards of the Coast who make D&D, and those have got a storyline, that goes somewhere. I'm playing in one that when it meets that has a storyline built into it, and and so it's not uncommon to have a goal for the entire campaign. But I don't have one so far for this sci-fi post-apocalyptic setting that I'm running. All I know is I have a vague idea of things I would like to occur. For example, I feel like the aliens who were on Earth have separated themselves from humanity after what happened, and they're the reason that spells exist in this world, and so the humans, they can't interact with the. Is this traders? Wow, this is a terrible Bob's right here. mobs. I should check it and see what they've got. I should unload my inventory so I'm not so slow. And then go check in and see what they've got. So all I pretty much know right now is that they're being attacked by.
Make it snappy. I gotta take a crap.
Oh, good to know. By the remnants of the old United States, who don't exist on the surface anymore because of how bad things got. And so they went into underground bunker and they have returned. Man, I wish I brought some stuff. He's got a lot of nice ammo and stuff going on here. Man, I'd love to buy up all that 7.62 ammo he's got. The meat. More 7.62 rounds. Ooh, weighted head. That's a nice one too. For your sledgehammer. But other than knowing that, and I have a general idea that when they get if we play that long, if we get a few more levels, they'll probably face off against another group of aliens that are hunting the first group. And then once we get past that, I really have no clue. I don't have a really good handle on where this game is supposed to be going, but maybe none of that'll happen. It all depends on what they decide to do. And right now, we're just at the point at the end of what I had planned out so far, and they're pretty good about doing what I expect. Although I don't write a lot of things down in stone. I just get a general concept in my head, and then it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what they choose. I can just make it lead to where I want to go. And which I feel is, you know, what a DM is supposed to. Not make them, you know, make them go there, but trick them into thinking they chose to go there. And although, I mean, there are quests, right? I mean, you're going to do jobs for somebody. They're going to tell you what they want done. It's up to you to decide how to do it, or even to accept it, for that matter. I see a lot of talk about player agency when I'm reading through D&D stuff, and I feel like there's a lot of confusion about the concept, and it seems like some people believe player agency means that players get to do whatever they want, however they want, and if you don't let them do what they want, then you are infringing on their entitled player agency. And I personally don't believe that that is what that means. To me, player agency is your players can choose what they're going to do, but you do control the world. And so, player wants to conquer a kingdom and become the new king, they are certainly welcome to try. But how are they going to do that? Like, a group of 4 people are going to have a really difficult time of taking over a kingdom, you know? I mean, they're going to be It's just gonna be, a nightmare of everybody would be against him. What if the king is well liked? I got another engine. That is crazy. Did I hear somebody growl at me? Nope, sounded like it, but I don't see him. So, but yeah. Anyways, I haven't even got to the thing that I wanted to talk about. So we're at the ceremony where they are delivering the operating system to the nanite cloud and going to bring it to sentience. And so they did. And then pretty much immediately after that is when the U.S. attacks. The remnants of the U.S. attack. And so they blew a hole in the side of the building. Oh, I didn't look up. I was like, oh yeah, I don't see any zombies wandering around. What's attacking me? Oh yeah, everybody's friendly, horrible vulture. I need to gut that vulture because I need the stuff that comes off that vulture. Ooh, I got a battery too. Nice. I need your rotten meats. That's a really good, disgusting food in this game called hobu stew that uses rotten meats, unfortunately. Okay. Scrap that. These can all go in. Man, that's a nice battery too. Look at that. I get a battery bank going here sometime. Will you get on the motorcycle? Thank you. Um, so, uh, it's underwater. The whole thing they're at right now is underwater. And so they've been given gear, like scuba gear and breathing apparatus and lights and stuff, flippers, so they can move around underwater easily. And so then the uh, the wall explodes on the side of this amphitheater. It's basically they're at an aquarium, and like a big aquarium, like SeaWorld kind of aquarium, and so nice. Got a level, one more level, and I can get intelligence 8. And so they're at like the sea lion show arena, and except it's all underwater now, and there's no sea lions. And there might be sea lions out there somewhere, but there aren't sea lions in here. And so for whatever reason, I don't have a reason why. It's just what I came up with in my head. The nanite cloud formed in the middle of the stage, and I thought maybe like the nanite cloud stuff existed while there was still uh, people and before things got destroyed, right around the same time. So I feel like people probably would have still been in those places, and like maybe they were in those places and had nanites in them from the nanite cloud when the place got destroyed. And so what they are giving sentience to is like the collected nanites from all the people who were killed when the aquarium was dumped underwater. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how this works. I mean, I should. It's my stuff, but I'm kind of making it up as I go. Stupid vulture. Try to land on my bike. Did you see that? And so then when the dust from the explosion starts to settle, some of them. Um, well, when the dust starts to settle, they can see there's a mantis-shaped submarine right outside, and it is firing torpedoes into the various buildings in the aquarium, which is where these underwater Triton people live, that they are trying to negotiate alliance with. Not the players, I guess. That's all. That's already been handled by ambassadors and stuff. The players were just sent to retrieve the operating system and then deliver it for the ceremony, which they've now done. And so I had them roll a dexterity check, a dexterity save, to see if they got hit by any of the debris, and then a constitution save to see if the concussion from the blast caught them, because explosions like that are not common in D&D, so I have to make up some of my own. I mean, that's the way you DM a game. You kind of make up what saves and checks and stuff they need to roll out to see what happened, and so they rolled their saves, and some of them did pretty good. Uh, some of them rolled double fives. I think one of them rolled like a 7 and an 8. Those aren't great numbers, and I didn't sit it very high. Like a 10 would get you half damage from the flying debris, and uh, a 10 would stop the explosion from affecting you. And so no, two of them got disoriented for their first round, and so we'll see how that plays out. I want it to play out so that the soldiers succeed on what they're attempting to do before the players put an end to them, which is just the same thing that happened at the other place when they got the operating system. The is that the U.S. soldiers have been equipped with EMP spears, and so they're trying to destroy the nanites. And I'm pretty sure this is a bunker. Let's go ahead and make a bedroll. Do I have a bedroll? Nope. I can make a bedroll, and I'm going to unload more stuff here. Oh, wait, bedroll, bedroll. Did I unload my bedroll, or did I just not make it yet? Haven't made it yet. Still taking some time here. Alright, so we gotta wait about 14 seconds before I head in here. And so, because the remnant comes from a time when United States scientists attempted to seize control over the. I mean, they weren't the only ones. There's probably others out there too. It's just that I live in the United States, so my game is taking place in the United States. And I mean, I guess just because I live in the United States doesn't mean it has to play in the United States, but that's what I've chosen. I did a bit of research before we got started here, so that on things like guesstimates on what would be the target during nuclear war and things like that. And because the facilities in New Mexico, which cracked the oh, usually there's, oh no, this is it, right? This little metal plating here. But they cracked the coating on the. Dang it! I only told you to smash that open. Hey guys. Oh, you're feral. I don't like that. Get back. Aw, dang it. Okay, I like it better when you die. Hey Bike, I need some food, and I know I put a little bit of tuna fish in here. I'm gonna go ahead and eat that. And anyway, so they're the ones that cracked the code, and so they lost control, and there's a thing called gray goo, a gray goo scenario, which is the possibility that one of the things with nanomachines is that they might um, have the ability to replicate themselves. You may have seen it in other things. There's lots of the replicants in like Stargate and stuff like that. And uh, so if the nanites replicate themselves and they lose control of the ability to tell them to stop replicating themselves, then they will pull everything apart and turn everything into nanites. And so it's kind of like I don't know how fast it would be, but it's kind of like a tidal wave of nanites that just consume everything in their path, like a I don't know cloud of locusts or something. And I guess I should probably start at this end. And so that happens. And so these soldiers that are attacking, their predecessors, their ancestors, fled into the bunkers during the war against the nanite swarm. And so they believe that the only way to make the surface safe is to wipe out the nanites. Now, the nuclear war wiped out the nanites that had lost control, um, but the operating system that they're using, that they don't know that they're using, uh, is part of that program. It's just that uh, the AI portion had been activated, um, whereas just the consume and replicate portion nearly wiped out everything. I need to kill another zombie here before I go down in here. And so that's what's going on, right? And so they deliver their operating system. The soldiers attack. They blow a hole in the side of the building, which kills a bunch of the crowd and takes out half of the people that have come with them. The other half now are tied up in. I hear you. There you are. Are tied up in, helping the wounded and trying to make sure their own people are okay. King and Queen, of course, are down. Their soldiers, when they react to next round here, are going to, I think, this is not the bunker door that I was thinking it was. Hey, any zombies inside, I would greatly appreciate it if you would help me out here. Yeah, there you go. And so, I still haven't got to the thing I wanted to tell you, which is crazy. I am at least semi-focused. So, the explosion happens, people are down, they roll their saves. Oh no, this is still another layer of door here. And two of them are concussed. Not concussed, but disoriented at least. Two of them aren't. Everybody rolls initiative, which is the order you get to take turns in. Soldiers did not do well. They only got a 10. But two of the players got less than a 10 on their initiative. So while I wish you could shoot through that. So while a 10 isn't great, a 10 is better than two of the people, and one of those two people that did do better than a 10. Uh, get off me, Feral. Might not have been a Feral. Looked like a Feral. Something's making horrible noises, and I don't like it. Oh, you know what it is? It's fighting on these stairs. Fighting on stairs is not good when you have the higher ground for some reason. And so only one of them is going to get to go before the soldiers go. And so I'm pretty sure I can get the four soldiers, at least one of the four soldiers. I can get them on their way to being in range. The wall actually turned out to be 100 feet or so, 90 feet, I think, from where they need to be to attack. And so they're going to have to swim across a lot of open terrain to get there. But only two of the players get to go, and so I lay it all out for them. I'm like, this is where you're at. Here's a map, right? This is where you're standing. I based it off of who was concussed from the blast. So those who were concussed were closer to the blast. Those who weren't were farther away. And so I'm like, you're first, and you are about 100 feet away from the first, or from the soldiers, and 100 feet away from the first, about 100 feet away, I said, because it's depending exactly where the soldiers are at. It could be 105, 100, so about. In fact, the soldiers farther back are probably farther than 100, and so he's like, well, they're all in a group. I'm like, well, they're yeah, they're in a group. They're all together there in the. Does that help me? Can I add light armor to my? I can't add light armor to my heavy armor. Gotcha. Um, and so he's like, well, I got this ability called Ice Knife. I'm like, okay. Ice Knife lets you shoot out ice in the form of a knife. If it, I don't think even it has to hit. When you throw it, whether it hits or not, it explodes when it gets close. And so the then all the people have to roll to see if they get attacked by it. It's a great spell. I love it. I have used it. I used it in one campaign I was playing in. It's amazing. And uh, and so I'm like, okay, so right, and he's like, well, the problem is that you said I'm about 100 feet away. It's only got a 60-foot range. I can move 30 feet. Am I close enough to use it? I'm like, well, no. I said you were 100 feet away. So, yeah. 90 feet does not equal 100 feet. I don't understand why you're asking me that question. Like, you know it's not going to reach. I gave you a map. Like, I can understand if I hadn't given him a map, but I gave him a map. Like, I don't know why I did that, because I could have just repaired that. And so I can understand if there wasn't a map, but there was a map. And so he has not replied since. I don't know if he's irritated that I won't let him move farther than he's supposed to. Oh, hey, I got outside zombies coming in. This is a tiny bunker. You dead. Oop, that guy's gonna hit me. Ooh, I killed him with one blow. How close am I to my next level here? Uh, oh, it's down there, blue bar, right? So, so yeah, and then the other one, I'm like, yeah, you're actually the other player. I was like, yeah, you're not gonna get to go this round. If you want to move, you can move, but I am gonna have you roll a random direction to move in because you are disoriented from the explosion. There won't always be disorientation from the explosion. I just imagine that an underwater explosion, you know, there's a wall of water and stuff, a little easier to stand up against concussive wind, I think, than concussive water. But maybe not. I don't know. And but it should be interesting to see if I can get the because the spear has only got 20-foot range to throw it, and so I have to get them within 20 feet, and they're about 80 feet away. So I can get them in range, but they won't be able to throw it until their next turn, and so they have to survive. Uh, they have to survive this next turn, um, or or I'm not going to get my EMP spear in place. I guess I could just say they do it anyways, but that seems cheaty. I don't really like to do that. I'm going to give them a chance to stop it from happening. Although it's not going to make a big difference on what happens or not. I don't know what they're going to do to stop the submarine. They're not equipped for that. They don't have guns. I offered, but nobody took me up on my offer. I was really surprised. They talked about. I think that only one of the players did anything technology-wise, and that was hacking. And because they were a thief, and so I was like, "Would you have worked for any of these organizations?" And they're like, "Well, I guess I'd work with the organization that brings back technology." And I'm like, "All right, so thief plus technology. Obviously, there's got to be some kind of hacking, get past, fingerprint scanners, retina scanners, whatever, door codes. So we'll give him some made up skills about hacking, and he can roll some skills on hacking. And I figure I'd probably do like proficiency plus intelligence, like he currently would do a dexterity plus uh, proficiency for regular locks. So that should work. And then I don't know why I wanted that paint in my inventory there, but I was sure gonna hang on to that paint. Well, let's go north just to keep this up. So I wanted to talk real quick before we go about why I like Ice Knife so much. Because, I talked a lot about how much I like Ice Knife, and then I don't explain why I like Ice Knife. So I'm playing this campaign, and in the campaign, we wind up in this fortress, like a little fort, and it's full of bad guys, and like a lot of bad guys. I was shocked at how many bad guys. And so I didn't think we could fight all the bad guys all at once. And so I was like, okay, I need some way to deal with bad guys because we went in at night, and so a lot of them were asleep, and so I'm like, well, we need some way to get in here without alerting anybody else that fighting's going on because we can't fight an entire fort full of people, right? And so, all right, so that links those together. So I'm going to go back to the south. And so I'm like, ooh, my cleric has got silence. I will just cast Silence, which makes a pretty big area where no sound happens anytime we have to fight. And provided we don't get into trouble where I need my spells to, you know, to heal. Oh no, I didn't. Oh, oh, can we do it? Can you do it? Can you do it? You dug up the ground a little bit, but you did it. Yay. I was worried I was going to lose my motorcycle there. Where you going, motorcycle? And so I cast Silence, and I'm like, oh, wait. So I'm running two characters in that one, Cleric and a Wizard, and I'm like, I cast Silence. That's going to basically stop the Wizard from ever being able to do anything, and so I'm looking through it. Turns out, Ice Knife does not require sound. It's one of the few spells that doesn't require sound, and so I would drop a Silence on a room full of bad guys, and then I would throw an Ice Knife into the middle of the bad guys who were asleep in their beds. Uh, and so they couldn't hear it coming. Oh shoot! And nobody could hear us fighting. These guys are tough. And so it worked out great. It worked out great. I used up all my spell slots, clearing out the top of this fort, but it did allow us to get around and not be attacked, which was a big plus because once we got the top floor, because top floor we started in the top floor. Well, we didn't start in the top floor, but we ended up on the top floor pretty quickly. Because there were like towers in the four corners, and so when we got to one of the towers, we just worked our way upwards through the tower, and it turned out to be the barracks where all the guys were sleeping in a bunch of little tiny rooms, and so I would drop it as close to the middle of the where's the doorway in this place? The middle of the rooms as I could find, and then I would we would try and clear the four rooms where nobody could hear us before the spell would wear off, and it worked out pretty good. I don't think anywhere. I don't remember us ever getting discovered, and so that was pretty awesome in my opinion. That was an awesome spell, awesome spell combo. Anyways, and that's why I like Ice Knife so much, because it's an awesome spell. But the other guy, he's like, yeah, I wanna stop 10 feet shy of where I can reach them, and I want to know if I can reach them. Well, no, it's right in the numbers, man. And they're not close enough together for Ice Knife to hit all of them either. It's got a fairly limited range. No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. You can throw it 60 feet, but the explosion only happens for things in like a 15-foot area. And so they're a little farther out than 15 feet. I think you could get like 2 of them maybe at a time. I don't know if that was worth the effort, but I do enjoy the XP so close to my next point, which gets me Intelligence 8. Well, I guess I'm going to call it here, and then we'll probably I'll probably play a little bit more tonight. Tonight's probably the last night of our multiplayer. I don't know why I didn't turn on my headlamp either. That's weird. This looks like a place that might have oh, it's a Oh, it's a Shotgun Messiah factory. Oh man, this is gonna be interesting. I've never seen this before. I also don't know why I don't pick up my bedrolls. I definitely want to explore the Shotgun Messiah factory. I could get some nice loot in here, maybe. I probably get dead, is what'll happen. Anyways, I guess I'll save that for next time. So click like if you like, subscribe, share, and catch the next one. And I will talk to you later.